Welcome to iPen Visions Podcast, interviews and conversations, where we bring authors, speakers, entrepreneurs, and those with a vision to our networking community and platform. Be our guest. Include your article, your ad, your promotions, and upcoming events in our quarterly magazine. We are proud to be a part of the Collective or podcast, a virtual tour showcasing you and your business. Our podcast, the magazine, a virtual tour, all on one platform where networking, creativity, and visions meet. All you have to do is contact us at ipendesign@gmail.com. And tonight, welcome to the show. Welcome. I'm Nanette Buchanan, and this is iPen Visions, interviews and conversations with myself and my co-host, Felice Reeves. And we welcome you to join in every Monday at 6:30. We come on live, and you have to look for the ads to see who we have. So just be in touch. We're building a community of entrepreneurs, and we'd like you to join us. Be a part of a growth process. Connect with other people that do what you do, or connect with someone who wants to know what you do. It's all worthwhile here on iPen Visions, interviews and conversations. And as I say that, I have to bring my co-host on because she keeps me balanced and tells me, well, you shouldn't have did it that way. But it's okay, because we all need that backup. We all need that support. And she's been my support for a few years now. So I welcome her and her advice. Hey, Felice.
Hey, Nanette. You know what I love about you?
Yeah, baby. What is it?
You are probably the one and only that allows me to say, listen to what I say. Do what I say.
But you know what though? It works. It works because sometimes, when we're trying to do things, a lot of times we convince ourselves not to do.
Yeah.
Or we convince ourselves to do, and we become troubled. Yeah. It becomes a worry, it becomes anxiety. So to have somebody that you could talk to that is not so emotionally involved or over the hill involved, that talks rational when you're irrational.
You're never irrational.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes you get those feelings where you're like, so you're my Lucy and I'm your Charlie Brown.
Wait a minute.
Snatch the football and tell me, hey, you ain't kicking this.
No, Lucy is too mean to Charlie Brown. That's not right. It's just not right.
Listen, he loves her though. He loves her.
He loves her, but I don't know that she loves him so much. How about Lucy and Ethel, maybe?
Oh gosh. You taking it way back. I don't know if too many of our viewers even know who Ethel is.
Me either. I just heard about him.
Well, tonight we have an author who writes books that I'm interested in talking to her about, and she edits and she does a couple of other things. We're gonna let her talk about what she does, but the interest that I have in it goes back to the beginning of when I started writing. So I'm looking forward to having this conversation to see, what she's encountered and those that she has encountered, as she's worked with other authors and independent authors, those that are not under the traditional trademarks and likes. So
I think we got another good one.
It sounds like another good one. Yeah, another good one. Yeah, just a little bit, But the thing about it is that the authors that we've had in the past, we've been surprised with because we bring them on and they're entirely different than what we think. So I'm interested in seeing, okay, you do this, that, and the other, but I want to hear the but part. Because they always have that little, it's like when people say to me, oh, you write books. Yeah, I write books. And then they see a poetry book and they go, you write poems? Yeah, I kind of write poems too. So there's always another thing that they do that you don't know too much about. So we want to find out. Our guest tonight is a as I said, an author, and we want to talk to her. So anybody that knows somebody that wants to write somebody or about somebody or with somebody needs to be watching this show. So we're going to bring to the stage tonight's guest, Trisha Williams. Welcome. How are you?
Hello, salutations, ladies. It's nice to be here. Nice to be invited. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So we do know a couple of things about you. Right off the bat, we do know that you are an author, and we do know that you are the CEO of Irie Sky. So could you please tell us who is Trisha Williams? Because we don't know her. We just know, she does a little of this and a little of that. But we want to know who you are. Who are you? Who is Trisha Williams?
It's my favorite subject.
Love it.
So, hello there, audience. Thanks for tuning in to iPen Vision. And I love being a guest. And Felice and Nanette have been wonderful welcoming me in tonight. So I am Trisha Williams, formerly Trisha Ray. And I have a company called Irie Sky. And Irie Sky has the product of my books that were written and self-published. And then the services of editing for others globally, consultation. I'm a notary. I have youth book club and adult book club. I tutor adults in basic English. And I have Purple Advocacy from Purple High Tops and Stilettos because I'm a domestic violence advocate. When I say I edit globally, I've edited, started out editing globally, actually. I wasn't first recognized at home. But a prophet is never recognized at home, never celebrated at home. So I edited for folks in England and Trinidad and Tobago first. And they told a friend and they told a friend. And next thing you know, this thing was huge. So editing for self-publishers, 225 of them.
Whoa.
And then it just took off. And then locally, I live in Trenton. And a lot of people heard about what I was doing, not just selling books, but editing them. So I got about 45 local clients. What I consider local is a tri-state area, Philly, Newark, Trenton, a little bit of Camden. But because it went global before it went local, and I'm a one-man show, ladies, it kind of took off. And I needed to find some help. So then I realized I needed to balance all this. So my first degree is in early childhood education, Trenton State College. I don't say College of New Jersey. I went to Trenton State. And that was 92. And then I had to go back to school for small business management to know how to balance all this. Because the heavy side was that I can write. I've been reading since I was in Pampers. So writing is the jewel. But I was stuck on accounting and statistics and projections, and I needed help. So I went back to school, went to Mercer County Community College, got another degree in small business management, and it a lot of support there. People underestimate community college, but I'm so glad I went back, and it wasn't easy. I am a person of a certain age, and many disabilities, but I work from home and I edit for people right here in this office that you're looking at. There's no fancy pomp and circumstances for it to do. I only literally need Irie Sky editing mark at the back of the book. And a lot of people tell a friend. So a lot of my projects came from word of mouth.
Very good.
I love exposure and I love telling people what I do. I'm often seen at banquets vending my books. And right now is, excuse me, I have a youth book club about 5 Saturdays from May to June every year so that they could read my books. And 20 kids get to get my books for free, journals, writing journals, and they get book bags so that they can come in. And a lot of times their parents will come with them, and that's how they learn about Ivory Sky.
So what got you started with editing? Why editing? I mean, most people start with writing a book. But you started with that.
Well, no, I actually started with writing my first book, but I had a huge fire in Trenton, and at the time there was no flash drive. Everything was bundled in a rubber band, a paper rubber band, and it burned. It burned. So once I learned about the publishing platform from my friend and sister from West Trenton, Trina Stackhouse, had a book, and it was a book I had supported and bought, and I liked it. I want to know how she did it. She had a publisher, but it made me want to redo mine after the fire. So I redid mine, and there it was in my face, the self-publishing platform. I met up with someone who I knew did self-publishing, and that was Marie Murph. I don't know if you know Marie Antoinette, but she's an awesome person. So she took my first project, and I took it from there to establish Ivory Sky once I realized I had a lot more to say. So these books started out with, and they're fiction. Honestly, let me just be honest here and transparent. My experiences, which I guess I lived a life of emergency after emergency after emergency. And a lot of that stuff is in those books, but I hide under the guise of fiction because I take the character or where I was at that time in my life, and I develop it with my imagination, which is very vast, very vast. So I can call it fiction all I want to, but some people looking at me like, I remember that happened.
So it wasn't your imagination or theirs.
Exactly. So,
but a lot of the fiction that sells and gets spread around, even television shows and movies, are an example of the common pitfalls of life. You know, they're examples of what goes on, whether it's to you, around you, somebody you knew, or somebody you're related to. We all have those pitfalls, and even if we're watching it from a distance, as a writer, we can write a whole story with a turn and a dip and a challenge and a what if and a why not. We can change that story all the way around just by listening to someone just say one sentence. You know, you could look at it and say, that's a story. I know where that can go.
I think that God gives us seeds, and it's up to us to water them. And I know that my gift is in the writing. I bring also 2 stage plays that I perform right here in Trenton, one at Mill Hill Playhouse and just last year I did You Can't Sit With Us at the State Museum. But these are things, and I want to get this straight, because just like you said, what we see around us, what we've been exposed to, or whatever our dreams may be. But mine are what I subjected myself to avoid common urban pitfalls, so that you, young person, don't have to go through this nonsense. And I say to a youth book club started Saturday, and the first thing I said to them was that I wrote a book for myself that says, why? Question mark. Why? Because I'm pretty? I gotta go through all this because I'm pretty? I don't think so. And let me explain. All of us are absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. No 2 are the same. I think that unique personality and face within itself is a wonderful thing to have. So yes, I did 4 times suffer from high self-esteem, because when I look in the mirror, I'm but the crap I subjected myself to, why? Because I'm pretty? Why did I have to go through this domestic violence? Why? Because I'm pretty? Why did I have to go through the things that I went through in life? Why? Because I'm pretty? And I said to the youth Saturday, you don't have to go through something just because you're pretty. All of you are pretty. and it's an asset, but it
Right.
does fade.
Right.
It does
And,
fade. Embrace growing older. Embrace going to the next grade.
mhm.
It's a
But
whole new
did you
experience.
answer the question though? Did you the
Oh,
why?
which one? That I was subject to?
Well, yeah, because you said
Yeah, the things I
why
subjected myself to are have you avoid these common urban pitfalls. You know, and there's a lot of them: generational curses, runaways, rejection, seeking approval from your friends,
Mhm.
apathy versus leadership. These are some of the books that I work with, and I have to tell you guys, I don't write about unicorns and rainbows. I write
Mm-hmm.
about real life situations, and I tell the parents they got to sign a permission slip to have youth club, because literally I'm writing about a teenage prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing about a runaway being groomed for prostitution. I'm
But you
writing
know,
about someone.
the thing about it too is I remember, and this is like a strike that I had early on. Um, I went to Author House when I went to do my first book, and they literally wanted to steal the book, and I caught on to it in the beginning,
Yeah.
that they were interested in making changes and putting different
Mm,
names and doing different things. And I told them no. And then they kept, oh, well, change your
mhm.
cover. No.
Yeah.
Change this. No. Change that. No. And the next thing I knew, I couldn't get anybody on the phone. Now I'm waiting to
Yeah.
get my book back. I'm waiting to do all of this other stuff. And the gentleman called me up and he said, we're interested in your book because you've touched a topic that many
Mm,
touch, and we just want to change a few things so that it can smooth over to another readership.
no, it's downright
So my
predatory.
thing was, well,
Predatory.
okay, you can turn it over all you want, but Becky and Sue ain't gonna be in my book. You can do whatever you want to it, but there will be no Becky and Sue.
Uh-huh.
This is not about Becky and Sue's
No,
lifestyle.
no.
This is about our lifestyle, which, like I said, in the book, having the book, I had another lady come by the table at one of the events, and she said to me, well, she went by guests that we've had here. She went by their tables and she looked at, their books, and then she got to me and she said, oh, another urban writer. And I said, I'm not an
Mm,
urban writer.
mm,
And she said, what do you mean? You write for your community. I said, writing for my community does not make me an urban writer. So the thing about urban living and understanding urban lifestyle,
mhm,
there's a difference when you say, I'm writing about the drug dealer on the street that's dealing drugs. I'm writing
mhm,
about the teenage prostitute that's doing XYZ. But
mhm,
what I wanted to explain to the audience and hear your point of view from it is that urban living does not mean that this is the lifestyle that you chose.
right.
This is your living, and you're in an urban area. It has nothing to do with your lifestyle because we have prostitutes in the country.
Yes, we do.
Okay, Jenny and Sue, they doing the same things. Okay, you got drug dealing on a bigger scale
You
in
got
the
it.
country
You got
because
it.
they growing it out in the field beyond the corn.
You got
So
it.
when you talk about, you do urban books, it's not just to our group.
No, it's not.
It
No.
has to do with the circumstances that affect that area of living. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey.
Right.
Newark,
Okay.
Newark is just like Trenton. But you talking about the north of New Jersey,
Right.
all the way down to the south of New Jersey.
You
Well,
got it.
in between all of that, you got different communities.
Yeah.
So you can't pinpoint
No.
urban just by doing that. And Felice and I were almost in shock. We had an urban author
Yeah.
who was writing about history and fiction. He was turning historical times
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
a fictional book.
I got you.
But you
Yeah.
labeled him urban. Why would
Yeah.
you label him urban
Yeah.
when he's not writing just about the inner
Right.
city and
Yeah.
Right.
urban living?
Well, and
So
and we should take offense first and foremost. She's like you're just another urban, and I'm like,
yeah,
you would never say that.
you're another urban writer.
Yeah, you,
Yeah.
and I would imagine she doesn't look like us. She, I think you said it was she. And how dare you? Because you don't
How
go
dare you? Yeah.
talk to any other, you know, group and
Oh,
say,
here
"Oh,
we,
you're just a."
yeah,
How
here
dare
we
you?
have
How dare
another
you?
urban writer. And then she asked me, well, are your books in Borders or Barnes and Noble? I said, my books are online at every store. She
Yeah.
said, well, have you ever thought about doing a book signing? I said, well, if it's not in the urban city, I don't think I would be able to do it.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
she looked at me and like gave me one of those smirk grins.
Oh
She
yeah.
knew what I meant. You know,
I
look,
want
lady, you
you
wasting
to
my
know.
time.
I
You
want you
know.
to know her approaching you, Nanette, was intentional.
Oh
She
yeah.
wanted,
Oh
but
yeah.
you have to, when my mother said, you don't ever have to feel uncomfortable. The minute you feel uncomfortable, you turn that thing around on them. And if they ask the question, you say, oh, why do you ask? Because then the shame goes back to them with what they intended to do.
Yeah.
And see, with
Exactly.
me,
And the thing about it was that you know it's happened a couple of times. I went to a radio station in Trenton
mhm.
and they wanted to know why the characters were named what they were named.
Mm.
And
Wow.
they weren't urban names. They were
Yeah.
regular names, you know, just a
Mhm.
name. And the guy was like, well, I'm amazed that you have them with these names. I said, and I'm amazed that you didn't read the whole book. Do you know what
Yeah.
it said? You know, I'm just amazed at that. You know,
I'm amazed.
I'm amazed too. I'm in shock that
Yeah.
you don't know what happened to Jenny or Sue. You don't know
How
what
are
happened,
you
you know.
doing,
So
Karen?
the urban living thing has been a rise in
Yeah.
not only in our community, but it's on the internet. You know, they want to see what urban people do, like we're a
Right.
whole different planet or a whole different group, and they don't
Yeah.
understand that we're the same America as they are. You know, we do the same nonsense that they do, and sometimes they do it worse, you know.
Yeah.
So urban
Yeah.
living and then writing the urban life stories, writing about the urban life stories. Tell us some of the things that you all right, tell us some of the things that you've put in the books to express the life stories, and then tell us some of the things that you feel don't need to be in the books because you know if they're the life stories, why am I putting it in the book? You already know what it is.
Okay. Let me explain something to you. I'm not an urban writer. These
Okay.
are urban pitfalls that I write about.
Right.
I wrote about a woman in Nome, Alaska. She's searching for her birth mother, and she's very misled because when she comes down to the lower 49, she thinks she's going to find her birth mother here. Her birth mother was ejected out of the village 20 years ago for being pregnant with her. So she wants to come here and find her, and it's culture shock.
Yeah.
If I can suggest people read that one, because there's a lot of what I do is I have fictional characters with true life landmarks.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I wouldn't exactly call myself, I'm not saying, oh, I'm worldly, but my experience through reading opens the door to travel because I've read on that scale. So I know what, let's say, for example, I know what the Jewish community can and can't do because I've been reading about Corrie ten Boom since I was 10. That it's not exactly what I call urban fiction and urban life stories. These are my own tiny experiences with big imagination added with a setting that you know what it is, which makes it relatable.
Right. Very
Right.
good.
And I think that's how my books became so popular.
Mhm.
Was because if you can get to chapter 3,
Well, see, the thing about it
And
is,
those
I think,
first chapters jar you. I do it on purpose. I
and they're
purposely
supposed
jar
to.
you. I
Mhm.
punch you in the jaw with the first 3 chapters, and you
Wow.
can't put it down.
And they're supposed to. But the funny
I
thing,
love
and I want to say this to the audience again and again, when we look at the word urban,
Yeah.
the definition says it's characteristics of areas or activities related to a city or a town.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So if that's the case,
Mhm.
It's all over.
it's all over.
It's all over.
It has nothing to do with just the African American,
Not
Black,
at all. Not at
Spanish,
all.
or Puerto Rican, or
Nope.
Mexican. It
Nope.
has nothing to do with
Or
what
poor
you
white
are.
too. It has
It,
nothing to do with it. If
it
if
has
you
nothing to
want
do
if
with
you
that.
want to go that far, Miss Nanette, if you go back with me on my mind, we can call urban what they call urban redlining.
Yes.
Redlining. Because
Yes.
that's
Yes.
one of the systemic problems that affects us today. That redlining back in the 40s and 50s, before
Mhm.
60s, and they called it the ghetto. Do you know the word ghetto was used when the Italian people came over here and they were calling
Right.
them ghettos?
Yes.
Right.
So let's
Yes.
be very careful about word usage
And you
because
know what? You bring up a good point.
Mhm.
I taught cultural diversity.
Mhm.
And in teaching cultural diversity to young adults, they went through a shock of understanding that
Mhm.
each nationality had their own time being on the low end of the
Oh
totem.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But they deny it and they're trying to
Each,
hide out.
each
Yeah. Well,
nationality
they just
from
want to give it to us, and like that's all we ever were.
Yeah,
right,
it's a
right.
fantasy. Yeah, it's a
So
fantasy. It didn't happen.
so
Yeah.
writing the urban story, as you said,
Mhm.
it could be an Italian character,
Oh yeah.
it could be a German character, it could
Mhm.
be any one of those characteristics with
Yeah.
a story.
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with you just being an African American author.
Yeah.
So,
Nothing to do with
so
it.
just to clear the air for anybody that's like, oh, I like urban fiction. Well,
No,
you
not in
might,
that category.
yeah, you might like Italian fiction.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, The Godfather was an urban
It
fictional
was
story.
urban fiction.
You
That's
know,
right.
so we have to understand when we talk about where it fits
Mhm.
Mhm.
that that's what it is. But now,
Yeah.
tell me
Mhm.
about this self-publishing thing. What were
Oh, the self-publishing platform is very difficult for some people to navigate. And once I got it down pat, I decided I would share that information for a nominal fee.
Mhm.
And editing became a part of that because people were trying to publish and said, I don't have sound basic English skills. I don't know if this is a sentence. I don't know if the spelling is correct. I have to go to the thesaurus or Google to find out what I'm trying to say because this word is the wrong word that I use. So I
Yeah.
decided to start tutoring people first, tutoring adults in basic English, a refresher to prepare them to write their books. Because they're like, there's 8 parts of speech and spelling, punctuation, I edit for sentence structure, I edit for spelling, I edit for spacing. So all of that, I realized I can offer you consultation in that for
Mhm.
a nominal fee. But my full editing is you got me from start to finish.
Uh-huh.
And people have found the value in that. That's why I did it 225 times.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me
And
ask you this.
I only require
I don't know how to spell. I don't know how to write, and all I have to do is put it in AI, Chat GPT. All I have to do is do all of that, and you say,
I'm a component. I'm a component against AI if you're writing. You can use AI to make flyers. You can do all kinds of stuff. But when it comes to writing, you need to leave AI alone.
That's
You,
right.
you have
and to add to that, what I think what people don't understand is AI is a system that corrects according to structure. It corrects according to words. It corrects if you want to write a professional letter,
yeah,
it corrects according to that profession.
right.
It does not correct according to who you are.
who you are. It doesn't give you the individuality.
It takes your whole personality out of it, your emotions out of it. And sometimes I have to literally say, hey, cut this off.
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't have
even with the spell check and everything else, it wants to insert certain words. It's horrible when it comes to conversations in a book.
My husband was cracking on me the other day. He says, Grammarly literally comes to me to see if it's right.
It's just right. Not only that, Grammarly was, I tried White Smoke first. For corrections before I sent it to an editor. I tried White Smoke first. But Grammarly literally taught me, as opposed to just making the corrections. It's coming in saying, well, look, you keep having this problem. Let me explain this problem to you. And those things that I did not know were problems, I didn't think of them as problems.
They were identified. They were identified
and told me how. So a lot of people, I do like you, people that come to me that want to write or are writing a book, I tell them, get something that's going to teach you. Not something that's just going to do it for you.
No.
You'll never learn if it's just doing it for you.
Not for nothing, Miss Nanette, Miss Felice. Not for nothing. It does have a purpose that people could use. But if you're already well written and well read, you may need to just use it for certain things, but not writing. The reason I say you don't need it for writing and you need to rely on you is because nobody can feel what you feel to express through your mouth or your speech the vernacular that needs to be used to express yourself. Because I'll give you an example. You go write a speech and you let AI do it. And it's a wonderful speech and you get applauded and people stand and cheer. And the spectators are waiting for you to say something because the speech is over. And you have no idea because you're reading, you've memorized what Bunga says instead of using this. He gave us this. This is what you need to feed. Not that. So
yes, it has no context. It AI has never lived that. So, so it can do an adequate job of describing something. It's only a description of something. You have to teach AI who you are, how you think, how you talk. AI doesn't know that.
I'm kicking and screaming to use this thing. I don't want to use it. I won't. My kids use it for flyers. I have 4 adult children, and literally I'm limited to cut and paste over here because I'm kicking and screaming saying I don't want it.
Yeah, because, and it's great at analyzing things. But but when you're writing a book, you don't need an analysis. That's not the whole context of your book. It's experiences. It is information. Well, no. So one of my favorite things is I have a young lady who is me and her mother are close and kind of a neat auntie relationship.
Okay.
And she thinks that she got all this information from the internet. And I'm like, baby, you have information, but you don't have knowledge. And I have this story that I've shared, and I'm sure most people have heard the story outside of even here on this, but we're talking about generations, and a grandmother or great grandmother would cook a roast for her family, and she couldn't eat the end of it all. And so that's what she passed down to her daughter, and passed down to her daughter. And so I guess it's like the 3rd generation, they're still cutting off each end of this roast.
Right.
And the now young daughter says, how can we do this? Is the first to question it.
It's the best part of the roast.
Because the roast back then, they didn't have ends the size of roast. Cut each end off. I don't know why she cut 2 ends off, and so it can fit into the pan. And now, so there's no context. You have knowledge, and that's what you're doing row by row. But No idea.
That is a really good example. Really good example to fit in the pan, but nobody knew why it needed to be done.
Yes, and now the pans are bigger, but you're still cutting off each end because that's what you were taught without the context of why that is.
I just fell in love with you. We just bonded. We just bonded. Miss Nanette, do you remember a time, because I wrote a book about generational curses. Do you remember the time when everyone did a certain thing for that period of time? Like, okay, green stamps. Who remembers green stamps? Okay, green stamps. It was appropriate for that time. I did better than green stamps. The green book. The green book, where we needed to know where it was safe to go use the gas or use the bathroom or whose house to stop at. Green book was very valuable.
Yes.
If I give my grandchildren, I mean, I wasn't there then, but if I give my grandchildren a green book and expect them to go across the country with this green, no context. They have no idea what you're talking about. They aren't even there anymore. There's been so much overdevelopment that what purpose does the green book serve, or green stamps serve, mind you, for now? So it becomes incumbent upon us to tell and pass the next legacy. That's right. This is why we did this. This is why we did this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because my kids are literally, my grandkids are like, what the heck is chitlins? What was that about? Well, we made the best meal for what we had and what we were given, so that those recipes got passed down. And I think it's not just the negative parts, but this is why we do this. This is why I part your hair. That's perfect. Perfect example. This is why I part your hair. We have to separate the hair, put it in a band to make it easier. But nobody really asked, why are you parting my hair?
But I believe that the problem is too that with everything moving so fast, there's very few that actually drill it into the head of the child to read something that's past.
Right.
They don't read history. They don't do things that were history. These kids really think that hair braiding is a big thing. But we've been having hair braiding since the beginning of time.
It's a myth. To get to
know what I mean? Right? Yeah. How about that?
And it was a map. It was a map. Slaves.
To get to the north.
To get to the north.
Yeah.
So they, just to read some and hear some of the things that these, the younger generation, their parents. I tell my son all the time, after his generation, there's a big loss. And he's 41, 40, but the generation right after him is the ones that I fear, because they have no knowledge of, or even want a knowledge of reading and living and learning.
Can I tell you what is a contributing factor? Absent father. Absent father.
Yeah.
Absent fathers, because mom had to do so much. And I'm sorry, there's so much we can teach our boys. I wrote Twin Towers. That's about a young woman who is raising two single boys alone, but never brought a man home. So they are used to mom and mom's rules, and they recognize home training.
Yeah.
But we are not their only influence.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the thing about it is, and when you talk like that, I realized that when I left my first husband, I had a boy and a girl, but I was into so many different activities. They stayed active. I was into bowling. I was into softball. I was into, my job. I was traveling. I was a coach. So I was doing so many things that we were very rarely home on weekends. Every weekend. And if I wasn't in the activity, they were in the activity.
Yeah.
However, in those activities, I played co-ed ball, so there were men. I bowled, there were men. I worked, there were men. I traveled, there were men. And some of those men were so upright about what they did, I pushed my son. Go hang out with so-and-so. And it wasn't Uncle so-and-so. It wasn't that he came and visited. It was, hey, go and hang with the guys for a while. Go and be around the boys for a while.
You got it.
Go and be involved with them. So, of course, he brings home some of the habits that they would teach. And I'd be like, oh, my goodness, here we go with this. You know, but it actually started when he was like 2.
Yeah.
I noticed, and this is something that people, hey, listen, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the house with me and my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
We sit to go to the bathroom.
Right.
He's 2. So he's busting in the door every time the door is closed. He's popping the door open, seeing us sitting. So when it comes time for him to potty, you got to potty train him. You got him sitting.
Yeah.
Right.
He decided that's what he was supposed to do. Go and be with the men some so you can learn. I invited my god brother to stay with me for 3 weeks. Teach him how to go to the bathroom. That's your only job. You can do it for 3 weeks.
That's it.
That's it. I just want you to teach him how to go to the bathroom as a man.
As a man.
So sometimes we have to bend a little bit about I'm a mother and I can do it all. We have to bend to the whim of you can't do it all for a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And let me piggyback off of that. There is a rite of passage that boys have to endure. They have to go to become men. We are not invited. We are not invited because we can hold their hands at 13. I don't think so. Let me tell you something. Miss
We'll be mothering them anyway.
Exactly.
And it's not healthy because they have to go out there in the real cruel world and in other cultures right at 13. At 13, they send them out into the wilderness. They are told you're not coming back here until you kill something, and then they kill a lion or whatever and put the pelt of the lion on them.
Right.
Yeah. Then they can't come back until this is accomplished.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny that you say that. I remember going into corrections. I retired as a sergeant, but I remember going into corrections. I was married to my second husband, and my son adopted him immediately as dad. My daughter adopted him as dad as well, but my son was the first one. Hey, can we stop calling him Mister? And you know, he's doing all of this stuff, you know. So okay, so I went. I had 14 weeks of training. Monday through Friday, I wasn't home. I'm scared to death. This man don't know nothing about my kids, and my kids were smart manipulators.
Oh yeah,
they would make it seem like you were crazy, you know. So I'm worried the whole time. Every week I'm worried. You know, they're in private school. I'm worried if their books are being done. If you know, they gonna manipulate this man. You know, they gonna get it.
They're gonna run right over his head.
So at the end of 14 weeks, you could choose which shift you were on, and I chose second shift because my kids were used to me taking them to school in the morning. You know, so I said, well, I'm no longer in the academy. I could take them to school. I'd go to get ready, get dressed and everything. And they went to me in school. My son, he was the voice all the time. He said, what you doing, Ma? I said, I'm getting ready to take y'all to school. He said, oh, no. We, now he's the youngest. He said, we catch the bus. What bus? What bus? Who put you on the bus and sent you into the wild city? Because I protected my cubs, you know, like they gotta be. You're supposed to take them to school in the car. You're not supposed to
Put them on the bus and let them go.
And it wasn't one bus. It was
Yeah.
connected. They got to make the connection to get on the other, to be on time.
Right.
They have been catching that bus for over 8 weeks. I had no idea. No idea. So when you say rite of passage,
You're right.
my son my daughter was forgetful, every now and then. She was the straight A student, don't focus on just one thing. My son was pondering, be looking everywhere. So he would make sure she had everything on the bus, pick up all your book bag, pick up all your stuff. You get on that bus, I get on this bus. I'm like, what? You've been where?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, they need men, because I never would have did that.
Yeah.
I never would have did that. I wouldn't have put them on the bus.
Yeah.
In the car, take them. Car is here. Get in the car. Get in the car. We're not going on the bus. And he learned how to go to New York. He learned how to go. I'm like, oh my God.
They stretch their legs around other men, and not for nothing. Okay, I have 2 boys. Josh and Josh are now 29, and they're not twins. I'm sorry. I have a biological Josh, and I adopted his best friend Josh.
Wow. Now that's a story right there.
Yeah.
25 emergencies. We're going to sit here and talk about it.
Right. That's a story right there. Josh and Josh. Wow.
I adopted his best friend Josh, biological Josh, who came out of my belly. We all play in our home. And let me start from the beginning. At our home, we each had an instrument. We had to play an instrument. The TV wasn't on all the time.
Yeah.
So Daddy made us play instruments. So one plays the piano, I played viola. So I did the same thing in my house. Turn that TV off, because they were Dragon Ball Z me to death, and PlayStation 1 me to death. Yeah. It wasn't even 1; it was just PlayStation.
Right.
SpongeBob, my gosh, SpongeBob! I know the whole song. Yeah, it's worse than Baby Shark. So I already had put an instrument, and we played together. We played instruments together when it was just me and biological Josh. But Josh can play anything you put in front of him.
Oh.
Viola, violin, cello, anything with strings, drums, and now he has his own, music studio. But the brother that I adopted came out of nowhere. Josh was always chair 1. His whole life is music. His first words was a song. It was love at first sight. That was Josh's voice. I never heard the sound of my son's voice until he sang that. And then it was amazing to me. So every instrument I put in front of him, he can play. He knew everything about Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin, and Handel before he was 7. He's just a music kid. So when Josh was 12, he pretty much ran the school he was in, and he had they allotted him time in a booth to write music and do music, and he was like their official music kid for because he's chair 1. Well, this came from another school and blew him out of the water. And I ended up adopting this kid because they weren't getting along, and he had issues at home, traumatic issues at home. And the 2 of them, the administrators put them together, chair 1 and chair 2. And Josh just could not accept it. He was chair 2. When I wrote Twin Towers, there was a lot of ongoing issues, and I ended up adopting the boy. They think of each other as brothers since that time.
Yeah. When
they were 12, and now they're 29. You can't separate the 2, and they're like totally oil and water.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll bring up the time when Josh was so good at music that they let him take off whatever class to go to the music. He says, I have some writing to do. So they let him go. He would get over and write music for the school programs and recitals. And he was on America's Got Talent. But then this one kid came and boop, knocked him on his pedestal. Humility is a funny thing.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I refer to a lot of my books as reality fiction.
reality fiction. I like it.
And someone asked me why reality fiction, and I just said, for one person it could be their reality, and another person looks at it and says, "Oh, that's got to be fiction," because they can't believe that someone is going through what their reality is. But I believe that, like you said, when you deal with life, and the pitfalls of life, you're only a step away from your pitfall.
Yeah.
You're only a step away, because the thing about it is, you could be in that same position today, and someone else be in that position tomorrow. But the thing that we don't get much of, and I think it's crazy that we don't get much of community support. Not when it's the pitfall. We'll talk about it in a group. And I'm saying that from, I think I really, really realized it as a cancer survivor. That when you go to talk to somebody about it, they look at you and say, "Oh." And I'm like, why you owing? Why are you talking to me like something? You see something wrong? What do you see? You don't see anything wrong. If I didn't say it, you wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
So therefore, why is it? Oh, now you want to put me in a group where everybody's going, "Woe is me," when I'm trying to be in a group where everybody's living. I'm trying to be in a group where everybody's blessed. I'm trying to be in a group where everybody's supporting each other. I'm trying to be in a group where I'm looking at somebody that's young saying to them, "Be careful of what you eat. Be careful of what you drink. Be careful of smoke. Be careful of this." Because I don't want them to get to this point. But you want to put me over here with this support group that's complaining about their medical coverage that they chose. They complaining about different things that they chose to do in life.
Right.
And I only learned that from a nurse that said to me, "Look around the room," and Felice laughs when I say this. I took my laptop to chemo treatment. And I was working on my laptop. I was doing a book. I was working on I took my laptop.
I need a moment.
I took my laptop to chemo treatment. Okay, I'm sitting there working.
This is over here.
Listen, while the chemo was working, I was working. Okay, and I looked up, and all I saw was eyes looking at me. And I said, "Oh wow, what's wrong?"
She used to. I don't know what she used to. So,
I called the nurse.
You knowing, right?
Listen, I called the nurse, and I said to her, "Why am I getting stared at? I'm being stared down. I don't understand." She said, "Look around the room slowly." I looked around the room, and I said, "Okay." She said, "You're not as sick as they are. You came in with no previous disorders, no previous things, and you brought a laptop with you." I said, "Oh my goodness."
Read the room.
I said, "Oh." I wasn't even thinking about reading the room. I was trying to finish my book. I said, "Oh." So she said, "Now the lady over there that does her knitting, and the person over here that's on their phone, nobody, you brought a laptop."
It says a lot about you, Nanette. Let me explain to you.
Yeah.
5 books that I've written are about domestic violence because I'm a survivor. But I'm on the advocacy side of it that says you don't have to go through this.
You don't have to go through that.
And the books that I sell for domestic violence, I don't get the proceeds. Woman's Space, Unique gets the proceeds, or Sophia in the North, or Women Against Abuse in Philly. I don't want the money. I want to make the money for the organization so that they can get out. If you need a plane, if you need a train, you need a cab, you need an Uber, Get out and leave. And it's not just women.
Right. Right.
Though I survived, my purpose in surviving has to do with me advocating for you, so you don't have to go through that crap. Why?
I think that's a part of. I think that's a part of our ongoing healing. I think that's a part of our healing. That we want to, give back, but we want to give back away from what the society says it should be. Because society, of course, says that you need to go to the American Cancer Society, you need to go to Medicare, you need to go here, you need to go there. And to be honest, when I first was in it, all it was people complaining about not getting supplies, people complaining about having to pay a bill. Nobody was able to live because they were so inundated in trying to correct the system.
Yeah.
But when you hang up the phone at 5 o'clock,
I love you.
When you hang up the phone at 5 o'clock, and you can't get that rep on the phone, you got to go and look in your mirror and see that your skin is changed, that your hair is coming out, that different things are changing for you. And now that group is not giving you community support.
Yeah.
So people look at me all the time and say, well, you don't look like you had cancer. I said, well, what does cancer look like?
I hear that.
Right. What does it look like? Because if you don't have a microscope in front of you,
right, you don't
look at cells,
well,
you don't know what it look like. I've seen people that look like cancer patients that ain't never had cancer.
Right.
You're right.
So, the support in the community needs to be a reflection of what the community needs.
Yes,
not a reflection of what the system needs.
Yes, ma'am.
Not a reflection of what administration says you have to go through. I did a cancer, me and Felice and a group of ladies did a cancer event last year. I spent a ton of money, did 100 support bags. Went to take those support bags to some of those groups, and they wanted me to sign up to be a part of the group first. Before I could give a bag, I just want to give you the bags. I'm not trying to be a part of your group. I just want to give. Are you a member of the American Cancer Society? Well, you can't come to our event unless you pay the membership fee. Cancer Society, I asked them for booklets. They said $50 for 50 booklets. I paid them the money. That was the Cancer Society. These are the things that are going on. How do you expect to get support if you're constantly using the dollar sign?
Yeah.
Well, because your definition of support and their definition of support are two different things.
Two different things. Two different things.
I always have this conversation with a former coworker of mine because we were in a toxic work environment, and I said, look, there are two choices: either you choose money or you choose people. So, and if you choose people, then doing whatever you need to do, especially being cutthroat to get money, doesn't resonate with you.
People
money, a person and their feelings and consideration for them, that doesn't factor into it. So you choose money or
they think that means support. It's a dollar sign. That's support. No, it's such a small part of support.
Yeah.
And I applaud you. I never would have known you were a cancer survivor, but then again, we've had very few interaction. And Felice, this is our first, but I've bonded with both of you, and I hope to come back. As a matter of
anytime. And see, I'm also.
Lynette is a perfect example of cancer doesn't define her, and she has a motto that I love. What's your motto?
I didn't retire to cancer.
That's a whole other thing that we all need to understand. Is what you focus on is what you become. It doesn't define you, but it's what you become. And so when you speak life into your life, then that's what you do. You get to live because you've spoken life into. But so many of us get
Yeah.
have a situation or
Mhm.
an event happens in our life, and that becomes our, that's all we focus on is the event, not on how to get out of it. Just here, and you speak life into it
Yes, ma'am.
constantly.
There's
Like
And it's funny. It's funny that you say that because the thing about it was, and the reason why my motto is I did not retire to cancer. Okay, we know that it's in the community. We know that it's a thing for Black women. It's a thing for white women. It's a thing for men. And the thing about it is, other than breast cancer, there's not much to talk about the community. And one of the pitfalls in urban areas are we don't go for a lot of tests. As Black women, we just don't fall into that category of being tested. We're not looking for a test. If it's not mandatory, we very seldom go. So
awareness.
right. So when I retired, I was very aware of the cancer in my family. I've had, my mom, my grandmother, her sister. So I knew it ran in the family. But hey, I'm going for regular checkups. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. No problem. Well, when I went for this last checkup before leaving New Jersey, the doctor just sent me a note and said, you can't go to North Carolina because you have cancer. We don't know yet what stage it is. We don't know how far advanced it is, but you can't go because you got cancer. Well, now I know all my doctors in New Jersey, been in New Jersey all my life, but I had already got a place to stay in North Carolina. As a matter of fact, that particular Saturday was the move date. I can't stay in New Jersey. I gotta go. All my money is gone. I can't stay here. So, in transferring, long story short, the doctors in New Jersey found the doctors in North Carolina, which they don't normally.
How about that?
They don't do that. But they did. Because I told them, I don't know any doctors in North Carolina. And they said, well, we'll find you some. And they found me one of the best surgeons. They found me one of the best oncologists. They found me people that were, sidelined because they weren't at Duke, which is the capital of cancer research. They weren't at Duke.
Came back from before we went to Fort Lauderdale. We were in Durham.
Yeah, they looked at it a little different. And the first meeting I had with my oncologist, he said, "Listen, you have stage 4 cancer." I said, "Stage 4." And all I did was I looked right at him and said, "Well, how long am I going to live?" He said, "Whoa, what are we talking about? You can't think like that."
No.
He said, "No. I'm going to keep you alive." I said, "Well, you better. You better. You better." That's all I said to him. You better. Then I had to go home and look at it from a balanced situation, spiritual, emotional, physical, and everything else. Hey, get your head together because you're getting ready to go on a ride.
Right.
But I didn't retire to cancer.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I try to spread that word as far as community support. I try to tell people, no, I did not lose my hair. No, I did not have to go through months and months and months of chemo. I went through, chemo, but I've had 5 surgeries. The cancer moved all through my body. Went from colon to the lungs to the pancreas. I've had surgeries. But guess what? The surgeries ain't have me.
That's right.
I got life. So the thing is, you gotta change the mindset.
Yeah.
And the only way the mindset changes is when you come together as a community and you talk about it.
Yeah.
And you give that support. And if we're going to call it urban, then it's up to those that live in these urban areas to support those that live in urban areas. There's no reason why somebody has to call Dr. XYZ in somewhere else when right in your community you have people that have gone through some of the things. And I say that because a woman told me, "Here, you need to take this vitamin." And if you take this vitamin, you'll get up out of that bed.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, but that's not FDA approved. She said, it never will be. Take this vitamin. Now, mind you, she had liver cancer and was on her way out because they caught it too late. But the thing was, she was telling me the only thing that was keeping her going and going to work was the vitamin. I still take that vitamin to this day. And it did. It got me up out of the bed.
Yeah.
B17.
Right.
B17. Yes, B17. But it's not FDA approved. But get this, it's all natural.
That's right. And that's why it's not FDA approved.
It's all natural. So that's what I've been doing. And I've been saying it like he says, that's my motto. Every now and then on my page, you'll see I say, hey, I didn't retire to cancer. And that's because sometimes we do drift back. We do have memories of what we've gone through. We do have turmoil of what we've gone through. I've written a book about what I've gone through. You've written a book about what you've gone through. We do have those times. But we have to support each other. And I just, like I said, I don't go out with the flag and wave the flag saying, hey. But I do have t-shirts that say I didn't retire again. Because of the simple fact that you should be retired. And my son corrected me about that because I said to him, this will never work as a t-shirt or as a program or as anything else. And he said, why? I said, because you got here, I didn't retire to cancer. Well, I was retiring from my job.
Right.
So it sounds good that I didn't retire to cancer. I said, what's the definition of retire?
Let's look that word.
Boy, you got some sense there. I didn't think about it that way. So, we need the community support. And I applaud you for the tutoring, especially the tutoring in English. That's a hard job to teach somebody the English language and teach them in writing and everything else, because a lot of times we don't have the patience to teach someone. So I applaud you in that. And I also applaud you in the words that you said. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. Dr. Seuss. So these are words that are explained on a lower level than we would even think about reading, because of course Dr. Seuss is for children. So we wouldn't even think about reading or hearing the information that's being given. So this is a positive message to those who don't know, unless someone like you, just take that part.
Yeah.
Just take that part of the sentence. Unless someone like you
cares an awful
lot. So they're in the same position you're in. They're doing some of the same things you're doing. And unless they care an awful lot, nothing's going to get better, because now they're struggling along with you and neither one of you are doing anything about it.
Right.
Neither one of you are looking at it in any kind of way. And then it's just not going to get better. So that's to tell anyone listening or anyone that sees it that I got to get with people that are concerned and understand what I'm going through.
Yes, ma'am.
I got to get with people that are going to do something about it. I got to get with people that are going to be supportive of my feelings, my cause. And even though it's Dr. Seuss, we have to look at it as, if the kids are learning this at a young age, we need to understand it at our age.
Right.
We need to understand it. And then this one really shocked me. I was like, oh boy, okay. I think I've done this a couple of times. Never wound a snake, kill it. Yeah, that would be me. That would be Felice telling me, calm down.
You and my new sisters. I
run. accident this time. Run, Forrest, run.
Yes, run.
And you know what? It's really funny. It's really funny how people, places, and things line up in your life.
Yes.
You learn a lesson, but you never need to use it until later on, and then it reminds you of when you learned the lesson. You know, you have to remember, you know what? I knew what to do at that moment only because this happened at another time.
No coincidences. There's
No.
Yeah.
I didn't realize why I was writing that. That it was going to be on. I'm in tears. I'm sorry. I'm just. I fall in the family. I fall as the youngest. They call me like I'm the baby. I call myself, I'm the baby. I'm almost 60, but I'm the baby. Mm-hmm. Everybody says how I take the simplest, the simplest, maybe through the eyes of a child, that I still have that. And that's why that Dr. Seuss quote is my favorite quote, because it's something big from Malcolm X or big from Martin Luther King or big from President Obama. You need to simplify yourself and be humble enough to understand Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, you do. You do. And the thing about it is, there are lessons in each one of Dr. Seuss's stories.
Well, and you can celebrate that you have a simple, pure heart.
Yeah, it's a pure heart that can understand it.
And you have a simple, pure heart that you just knows love, as a child knows love. You know,
right? A child and the simplistic love of a child is pure.
Yes. Yeah.
They don't come to someone with a cover. Yeah. They're open to whatever.
There's no agenda.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I have to warn people all the time. I have to warn them if they have small children and they walk past my husband, because the child gravitates towards him. And I tell him all the time, that's because the child can read that you have a pure heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's been children that have just attached themselves to him. And I said, whose kid is this? You letting kids just walk by? Where, so the purest of hearts are those that have not been touched or wounded. Mm-hmm. They're looking at the grace that comes and the blessings that come, and they know. Children know
for that.
They're great for that, and sometimes we just have to teach them on a stepping stone of how to migrate into adulthood and into a community. Yeah. But I want to let our audience know you can get in touch with Trish Williams at www.sky.com. Please get in touch with her about her groups, support, and everything else that she does, the editing and all of her programs that she has. You can also go to her website, Trisha, at iresky.com. Her number is 963-7077. That's a New Jersey number. So be sure that you don't look at it and go, oh my God, where is she? She's in New Jersey. It's a place. Believe me, place. The 609 number is a number that area code that I'm very familiar with. Unfortunately, retiring from that anyway. Please reach out. Please reach out and become, join her page, follow her work, be a part of her work, be a part of what she does with the children as far as reading and everything that she does in support. You can read all about it. Felice has a last question for you.
They read. Trisha, it has been such a delight. I just knew we were going to have a good one today.
We were sync. I love it.
Well, so my love, here is the question for you. First, thank you for being such a servant leader and sharing your gifts with the world, and living with a compassionate heart. I applaud you because of your heart. Your heart is pure and gold. to even see a child in need and take them into your home. That's a great big old heart that I know that God loves. So with that being said, with all your gifts you give to the world, we like to share with our audience the responsibility of being a giver. And because of that, we want to know, what do you do to fill Trisha's cup?
I missed
Before it gets empty, and I don't think it does. So what do you do to fill your cup?
it. It sounded like, what would you do to kill yourself? That's what it sounded like.
No. Fill your cup. No.
Fill your cup.
No.
Your cup.
Fill my cup.
Yes. Fill, not kill. Fill.
No. The snake. You kill the snake, not the.
Yeah, you kill the snake. Yeah. Yeah.
Kill the snake.
Yeah.
Police, you and Annette are amazing. I truly enjoyed this. So you're asking me what would fill my cup?
Yes.
Prayers for me. I have 85% nerve damage. I use a power chair, wheelchair. I can't walk. I could, because of the thousands of medicines I take for the nerve damage. I have trigeminal neuralgia. I have ankylosing spondylitis in my spine, nerve damage because the nerves are fused with my spine. So my lower extremities don't work too well.
Wait just a minute. And you just sitting up here talking about the net, and you would never,
Wow.
never knew that about her cancer. And now look at you.
Wow.
The reason I'm mentioning it, prayer works. I'm a witness that prayer works.
Yes.
It's been in business for 9 years.
Yes.
Season after season because of prayers. And I'm a witness. I will always testify to what he's done. I have done nothing. He's done all of this.
Right.
Yeah.
The side is that I physically can't go do what I need to do because of the nerve damage. So just continue to pray for me.
Yes.
Oh.
Do.
Yes.
You do.
And you didn't retire to it either.
Thank you.
Yes. Indeed.
I have.
Well, I love to share with you, be with you in all you do.
Oh, we got to do it.
Yeah. This is a new bond, and we don't want to break that bond. But we want to let our audience know that this is the end of the show, unfortunately. So, hey, visit us next week. Look at the replay on YouTube. Check us out on my page, www.nanetteMbuchanan.com. We have enjoyed you immensely. But we got to say goodnight to our guests. So, all those that are listening in, please tune in every Monday, 6:30. And hey, thank you for being such a phenomenal person. All right.
I got
you, everyone. Good night.